Hi, everybody. Well, I'm getting prepared for November 11th. It's a day I'm going to break my cord with my addiction to cigarettes. And I wanted to talk about how if you have something you want to break before you die, because I understand through my spiritual work with my son and mother that uh, cravings is part of our imagination and come with us. And dead people crave cigarettes. That's what they say. So, I want to make sure I'm not craving cigarettes. I know about the imagination and how powerful it is to our spirit. It can literally make our spirit turn its will over to Satan. Hello? But it will take a lot of self-hypnosis to reprogram your own mind. And I want to show you how to do that with my own experiences. So, what I do for self-hypnosis, really, you don't need any ceremony or ritual. I mean, that's part of the programming to get you to fear doing something, is that you have to do it a certain way. No, you just have to get the basic idea and then start practicing it yourself. And that goes for anything. Anything you want to learn about, you can go get some ideas from YouTube or other people and collect data, information. And then if you like it, go for it. So hypnosis, really, there's two parts to it. There's the type that you know about on stage, right? The hypnotist. Shout out to Rob Hadley, a little son of a bitch over there in Vancouver, at Vancouver Hypnotherapy. He was a photojournalist, a political photojournalist overseas. And now he is running some kind of organization with the medical community. I know him personally, and not a good man. And he doesn't even know how to hypnotize people, because I went to one of his stupid workshops, and he's crazy. They are counting on the hypnotists that are on stage, Harlequin, that's what it's called, Harlequin. I don't know if I'm saying it right or not. Harlequin Hypnosis, or hypnosis stage show in Vancouver. He goes all over British Columbia, I don't know where else, but he's got quite a show. And it's all a magic show. It's all a stage show. And the problem is that people buy into any story that they're fed. They walk in with the idea of somebody having that much power and control over somebody else's mind that they could just snap their finger and the other person will black out and start acting weird. No, they're actors. Like, the person going up is real. He's probably just an innocent person going up there. But he's got an incredible amount of pressure to act. And if he doesn't act, like the hypnotist will bring up about 20 people to test and give a little test, an induction test, let's say. And if the subject fails at the literal suggestions, they will be sent back down to the audience, and the hypnotist will say, no, you can't be hypnotized. No, you won't play the game. That's the truth. You won't play the game. And that goes in anything that's going on in the world. If you're not playing the game, you're not going to get paid, or you're not going to get to be this, or you're not going to get to stay on stage. So that's, and then, but they do rapid inductions, it's called, in the stage hypnosis. And I never liked it. In fact, I failed it in the training through the International Hypnosis and Hypnotherapy Clinical Whatever Association. I was trained through their worldwide organization, same as Rob Hadley, the guy in Vancouver, got the same training. And that part of the program, I had a hell of a time. Really bad time. I even went home crying once. It was that emotionally dramatic for me. And I had no idea why at the time. I hadn't met the beings of light yet. But I know now that it is a repulsive thing to do. It's a mind trick. And I won't play. I won't play. So that was the problem. But I did play that one day and I got my okay mark, you know. So I got through it. But then, so that's not even hypnosis, guys. That's just magic. It's not hypnosis at all. It's self-hypnosis is the art of relaxing your body to the point of sleep, to the delta level, with your thoughts, using your mind. Now they'll tell you you need a facilitator, you need a clinical hypnotherapist like me, and I charge a lot of money. But you don't. All you need is the ability to think yourself down into a deeply relaxed state. And I use a system, structure system, because you don't want your thoughts going all over the place when you're trying to relax. So you try to keep a system, like I start with the top of my head, and I just imagine that my scalp is relaxing, that I'm letting it relax, and that my crown is opening up for any new information that I've been missing. And then I allow my forehead to relax all the way down to my, jaw. I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing hypnosis here, so, but I want you to know how I do it is bit by bit all the way down. And then if there's any part of your body still tense or stiff, just tell yourself to relax it. And every time your thoughts start going into a place that doesn't help you relax, you can imagine, and this is the second part of hypnosis, you can start using your fantasies to work for you. And so imagine all your thoughts are going into a bucket, if you will. And you can just put them in a bucket and shut it away and kick it off. And then those thoughts are gone until the next thought comes, if they come. But you get into a practice, and you just take a few minutes every night. You don't want to go into any kind of struggle with this. People struggle with everything and think they have to be perfect, and that's your problem. And you think you're not allowed to guess. You're allowed to guess. You're allowed to be imperfect. In fact, the more imperfect you are, the more you're going to find out, because you're going to know your mistakes. And you know your mistakes. You don't need people to tell you. So just relax when it comes to, if you want to try out any kind of hypnosis, self-hypnosis, is the first order is to relax. And then after your body is really deeply relaxed and you're aware, you're not asleep. Sometimes a lot of people, they go into crying or they start, or they go to sleep. And that's okay if you do. You're going to practice until you don't do that. But let yourself go to that deep level of sleep, because you're in such a beautiful sleep. Did you know 30 minutes of this deep relaxation to your body is worth 8 hours of sleep to your body? It really is. When you are purposefully, intentionally focused on relaxing your body and giving yourself a break, letting all the shit come out of your head and go into a bucket somewhere while you just relax, right? If you can get that far, you're doing amazing. And because you're touching into your spirit, you're getting rid of ego, and you're going into yourself, and you're allowed to go into yourself and explore your feelings. Explore who you are. Look at yourself while you're lying there. What do you look like? Who are you? Ask yourself questions. Ask yourself what you're doing here. I bet you'll have answers coming to you. If not then, and that's the key to everything, you gotta wait sometimes. It'll come. In fact, that's what happened to me with Dr. Brian Reese. He wrote Many Lives, Many Masters. He's a psychiatrist out of, I don't know, Yale. They're all crappy people over there. But I went to see him after Trevor died. I had spiritual stuff all around me, right? And that was not in my religion. It was just not allowed. So we got to go explore and find out what's going on with the spirit around me. And the doctors told me I was crazy, and my husband and everybody else followed suit. And the pastor told me Trevor was in hell because he didn't pray in Jesus' name. He left the church at 13. Sometimes I get into a trail of thought and then I go somewhere else and I forget where I was, and I feel I piss people off that way sometimes because they want to hear what the rest of what that first thing was. I'm so sorry, but it's bedtime and I had my cannabis. I can't retrieve it. Imagine, okay, so I'm talking about hypnosis. So when you're in hypnosis and you're relaxed and you're able to talk to your body, if you can't talk to your mind, talk to your body. If you can't talk to your feelings, talk to your body. It works for me a lot because I have a problem going to the bathroom pee a lot. I can't go pee. I have to tell my body to go pee, and it goes pee. So listen to your body. And what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Dr. Brian Reese. So I knew you'd be disappointed if I didn't get back to him. So I was reading a lot of afterlife books, and the first one I read was Hello from Heaven. It was a study, and so that one I could read because it was a factual study of people, 2,000 people that have the same experience I was having. The sensation of somebody sitting on my bed, the electricity being played with. I had all of the signs, all of them. So that was the first book, Hello from Heaven. And then I went on, I was like, reincarnation, come on, that's a Christian, that's blasphemy right there. You don't talk about that, lady, you little devil. That was me. I was not into reincarnation in my life. And why? Why? I had to ask myself that after Trevor died. Why? And I just didn't have an, other than the Jesus that I knew, like it was about resurrection and he's coming back. One day he's going to save me from my damn suffering. And it's been a long time, you know, and he's just not showing up. But without conscience, people will take part of the truth like Dr. Reese did and then twist it, and so you're back into another fairy tale, because that book, Many Lives, Many Masters, is bullshit. And I didn't know that until 2016 when the beings of light came. However, his hypnosis, he knows hypnosis very well. I went to see him in Tacoma, Washington, and he was with James Van Prow, some medium for the spirit world, and I went to see them, and it didn't work. The past life regression, because I wanted to check out my past lives. I had a feeling I should check out my past lives. Remember, it was before the beings of light came. So I wanted to check out if I had past lives, and I was didn't work. So I went up to Dr. Reese, and he was signing autographs for his many multi-million-dollar books. And I told him it didn't work. And he said, he looked at me. I remember his eyes too, sharp as, oh my God, those eyes, man. Whoa, they're blue and they dart right into you. And he said, it may come to me in a dream. That's what he said when his eyes went into mine. He said, it may come to you in a dream. And guess what happens to suggestible people when you offer suggestions like that? I had a dream. I had a dream a month later. I sense now that we're not allowed at all to have any memories of our past lives. The only reason why I have my memories is they're in our history and I know them so well. Like that's been my story, is all about trying to find a fucking church that has the right Jesus. I did that my whole life. Every denomination. I was you should see me down Broadway in Vancouver trying to do a test for the, what is a Ron Hubbard one, whatever that was. Is that the Church of Scientology or something, or Mormons? I don't know. I went them all, and Jesus wasn't there, and I should have just listened to my son, my soulmate, when he left the church at 13 and said, no, Jesus here, Mom. We're so stupid. So I had the dream of me picking my mother. Now that's all I know. I don't know that spirit had no memory. When I'm remembering that dream, that spirit had no memory, no nothing. It was just following the 10-year-old girl into her house. I saw her world in her small little house in North Vancouver with her mother and her grandfather. Her father wasn't there, but I sensed she was younger, 10, than when her father died when she was 12, so it doesn't matter. Then I'm in this place where I'm choosing a role with one of her children. I remember choosing the role of Cheryl Ann Grosclose. I would bear the brunt of her anger. So I went into that eyes wide open. And I have a feeling before that time, now that I know I'm in contract with my mother, that there's another place with other memories. That there really is another place with other memories where we can plan our lives. Because my life's planned, guys. Planned. And it makes so much sense with I dot connect to my whole life, the people around me, and the names and birth dates of individuals that are so connected to me. It wasn't just one thing that allowed me to believe in myself. It was a combination of my story, and then the beings of light made me see my movie, and it wasn't pretty. Well, I'm always a generous person, a nice, good person, but I felt like shit. I felt like garbage. I felt like a garbage person, especially getting into my 40s. Women are not wanted, especially if you're single. You're a target, especially if you're a granddaughter or grandson. You're a target. Everybody's meat because everybody lives in fantasy here, in the imagination. And that's hypnosis. You're hypnotized to fantasize about things that you should never be fantasizing. You think it's hidden. But what we're doing is we're manifesting hell on earth with this hypnotic programming through Hollywood. It was bad enough with the scriptures, okay? That's violence, that's fear. That's a God you don't want to know. And I don't give a shit about the history, ancient texts, and how much attachment you have to that idea of keeping your history and reading those ancient texts and trying to figure out life. No, get out of history and figure out life starting now. Because we are evolving. And I know we're evolving because my head's still on my body. We are evolving emotionally. But people have to snap out of the trance of Hollywood because this last 120 years is a goner for us. And they knew it. They know what they're doing on every program. There's no mistakes, guys. There's no mistakes. Whatever idol star they put up next. Who's up next? I hear the aliens are up next. It's all 100% entertainment. And buying into idol stars, or the glass, the looking glass, buying into beliefs, sending your money, your donations, your neuro-linguistically programming yourself to think like them. And they don't think right, if you think about it. So in your hypnosis and with mine for quitting smoking on, I got tomorrow left, is I use my thoughts now. I'm already preparing my mind with my thinking. And I have to get myself excited. You know, I have to have an emotion other than, damn it, what am I going to do without my cigarettes? I have to conjure it up, right? And we're responsible for conjuring up good emotions in a right way that works with your conscience. And so I have ideas for things I want to do the day I quit smoking. The first thing I want to do is clean my apartment and wash the walls with vinegar and then paint them. I want to make my place very, very warm and comfortable the way I want it. And that's getting me excited about not smoking. And every day now, leading up to my quitting smoking day, I keep reminding myself how nice it's going to be when I quit smoking. So I'm talking to myself. And you can do that to yourself too if you have some habit or obsession, fantasy that you don't want anymore. You start talking to yourself and you talk your way out of it again. And then do things like I will, when I quit smoking, start doing things to act it right out. Do the act. That's neuro-linguistic programming. Do the act of not smoking. I'm doing the act of not smoking. And every time an urge will come to me, I'm going to use fantasy and imagine a big dark cloud that I'm going to lift over my head, because it's a dark cloud thought, right? If I want to smoke, it's a dark cloud thought. All right, I'm going to lift it out of my head and it's going to go over there. And then I imagine it going over there. You see, I'm using my imagination and my fantasies to work for me. And I don't always have to be in a restful sleep. You don't need to use fantasy and thoughts to work for you. You don't have to be in a deeply relaxed state. You can just do it. Practice. Start practicing. And if you're not the type that can relax, and just practice relaxing, just wherever you are, in whatever chair you are. Tell yourself that you matter and that you heal more. When your body is in a relaxed state, you heal more. Stress causes disease more than anything else. And the imagination, oh well, you've got cancer, you've got a tumor the size of Gibraltar in there. You've got 3 months. But we've got this therapy that might work. It's called radiation. And what they don't say is that they get a kickback. You know, it's all hypnosis, to think that you can go to university and learn how to heal people. You know, you're totally forgetting your spiritual side, your emotional side. And you can't go to university. All you're doing is replacing mother with artificial intelligence, because mother could do it all. And she should be creating, not worrying and stressing, because that turns them into psychopaths. That's what happened to my twin flame. You know, I saw her life. I saw she was in trauma. But just because you're in trauma doesn't mean you can take it out on someone else, especially your little twin flame there. That's not very nice. That's about they're going to send her to hell. And that's exactly where it put her when she died. In emotional hell. Because nothing's hidden. And she knows instantly because she's back to her Christ. Her spirit is Christ. We all are at infancy. And we are there at death. But we're stuck with our imaginations of what we've done and left behind. And the messes we made. That's what's more important to my channel is forget about what's going on now. If you have peace in your heart now, you'll have it then. And any way you can get that peace in your heart, it's a good time. It's a good day to start over. You know, people have intentions beyond face value. And people need to learn how to read into things and look around and see more than just the words or the image. What's the message to you? And do you want that message in your head? And do you want to see that image in your imagination? People will sway you and tell you that somebody is a bitch or a cunt or something, and nobody says anything. It's so okay. You know, you can't freaking say anti-Semitic things and nothing about nobody in race or religion, but god damn it, you can sure call her a cunt. A bitch. Words only to women. And every utterance of that is your imagination against your mother. It really is. It really is a sad way to think of your mother or soulmate or daughter. So, forget about racism. Can we talk about this? I don't even know what to call it. It's not sexism, it's just hate on women. Hate. And nobody even looks. Nobody notices. It's so unimportant. Well, it is important. You need to be bonded with your mothers, sons, and daughters. You need to be bonded with your fathers for their survival. If you want to get caught up in semantics about life, in the fantasy details, then that's fine. That's a big waste of time and energy. There's so much you could be discovering more about yourself and the magic in your soul. Because you've lived many, many, many lives. And you have emotional intelligence in there. Unless you've been devolving, and I don't see that. I see good spirits everywhere, but they're just brainwashed. No, I don't think your spirits are withered away to nothing. But I think some don't have a soul at all anymore. They just don't care. And that's why I don't want to watch them. I don't want to watch the idol stars. And the ones that are prancing around as if life is a big show. Because we got lots of little Christs here. And it's our responsibility to raise Christs into healthy, happy people. Good night, everybody.